Part 1. The beginning of the adventure. Jake had been planning this road trip for months. He and his three best friends, Tom, Lily, and Mia, were excited to finally hit the road. They packed the car early in the morning, making sure to bring snacks, drinks, and music for the long drive. The sun was shining, and everything seemed perfect. "Are we ready?" Jake asked with a grin. Tom, sitting in the passenger seat, gave a thumbs up. "Let's go." Mia cheered from the back seat, her excitement filling the car. Lily smiled, checking the map one last time to confirm their route. They had planned to drive along the coast, stopping at small towns and beaches along the way. It was going to be a relaxing weekend, full of fun and adventure. As they drove, they sang along to their favorite songs and enjoyed the beautiful scenery. Jake loved the feeling of freedom that came with an open road and good company. But just as they were getting comfortable, the car suddenly made a strange noise. Jake frowned and glanced at the dashboard, hoping it was nothing serious. Part 2. Trouble on the road. The car slowed down, and Jake pulled over to the side of the road. Everyone got out to check what was wrong. Tom knelt by the front tire, shaking his head. "I think we have a flat." Mia sighed and looked around. "We're in the middle of nowhere," she said, her voice filled with concern. Lily took out her phone to check for signal. "Great," she muttered. "No service." Jake ran a hand through his hair, trying to stay calm. "Don't worry," he said with a forced smile. "We'll figure something out." They looked around and noticed a small town a few miles down the road. "Maybe we can walk there and get some help," Tom suggested. Everyone agreed, and they started walking towards the town. The sun was beginning to set, casting a warm glow on the empty road. Jake tried to keep their spirits high, telling jokes along the way. After a while, they reached the town and were surprised by how quiet it was. It looked like a place where time had stood still. Part 3. Discovering hidden treasures. As they entered the town, an elderly man sitting on a bench waved at them. "You folks need some help?" he asked kindly. Jake explained their situation, and the man nodded. "My nephew runs a repair shop just around the corner," he said. "Thank you so much," Lily said, relieved. They followed the man's directions and soon found the small garage. A young mechanic named Ben greeted them with a friendly smile. "You're in luck," he said. "I can fix that tire in no time." While Ben worked on the car, the group decided to explore the town. Mia spotted a cozy cafe and suggested they grab a bite. The cafe was charming, with homemade pastries and warm coffee. As they ate, they chatted with the locals, who were full of interesting stories. Tom noticed a small antique shop across the street and convinced the group to check it out. Inside, they found unique trinkets and vintage items. Lily picked up an old map, intrigued by its faded markings. "This looks like a treasure map," she joked, making everyone laugh. Part 4. An unexpected twist. As they left the shop, Jake glanced at the map again. Something about it seemed familiar, though he couldn't quite figure it out. "Maybe we should follow it," he said with a playful smile. Tom raised an eyebrow, but nodded. "Why not? We're already on an adventure." Mia and Lily agreed, eager to see where the map would lead. They followed the clues on the map, leading them to a nearby forest. The path was winding and mysterious, adding to the excitement. "This feels like something out of a movie," Mia said, her eyes wide with curiosity. Jake couldn't help but agree. After walking for about an hour, they stumbled upon an old wooden cabin. It looked abandoned, but something drew them closer. "Do you think this is part of the map's mystery?" Lily asked, her voice barely above a whisper. Jake pushed the door open, and they stepped inside. The cabin was filled with dusty books, strange symbols, and an old chest in the corner. Their hearts raced as they realized they had discovered something truly special. Part 5. A night to remember. As they explored the cabin, Tom noticed a small key hanging on the wall. He grabbed it and glanced at the old chest. "Maybe this opens it," he said, his voice filled with excitement. Jake took the key and turned it slowly. The chest creaked open, revealing a collection of old letters and photographs. Each item told a story of the town's history. "This is amazing," Lily whispered, carefully picking up one of the letters. The handwriting was elegant and full of emotion. They spent hours reading the letters and piecing together the town's forgotten past. Jake felt like they had stepped back in time. When they finally left the cabin, the moon was high in the sky. The night was cool, and the stars sparkled above them. As they walked back to the town, they couldn't stop talking about what they had discovered. It was a night they would never forget. Part 6. Saying goodbye. The next morning, Ben had finished repairing their car. "You're all set," he said, wiping his hands. Jake thanked him and paid for the repairs. "We really appreciate your help." Ben smiled and waved them off. As they drove away, they felt a little sad to leave. The town had given them more than just a repaired car. It had given them an adventure. "I'll never forget this trip," Mia said softly. Tom nodded, looking out the window. "Neither will I," Jake added, glancing at the map Lily had kept. It was a reminder that sometimes the best adventures are unplanned. They promised to come back someday and visit the friends they had made. The small town had left a big impression on their hearts. As they merged back onto the highway, the car was filled with laughter and happy memories. Their road trip had turned into something far more magical than they had ever expected. Part 7. A Promise to Return. As they drove further away, Jake looked back one last time. The small town was now just a dot in the distance, but the memories they had made would stay with them forever. "Do you think we'll ever come back?" Mia asked softly, her voice filled with nostalgia. Jake smiled, his eyes on the road. "Definitely," he replied. "Some places are too special to visit just once." Tom and Lily nodded in agreement, already planning their next adventure. They spent the rest of the drive talking about their favorite moments. From the unexpected flat tire to discovering the old cabin, every part of the journey had been unforgettable. As the sun began to set, the car was filled with laughter, warmth, and the promise of future adventures. They knew this was just the beginning of many stories they would write together. Did you enjoy this adventure? Right Arrow, what was your favorite part of Jake and his friend's journey? Subscribe to the channel so you don't miss their next adventure. More exciting stories are coming soon. Stay tuned.